So today we're talking about toileting and it's by request. Now, I did a toileting live a few weeks ago and it went a little crazy nuts. There was so much conversation around it and then I created a little course with the help of people in the group. If you like what you hear tonight, you like my philosophy, you like the vibe, and you'd like my help, then I encourage you to register for this. Now, first, I want to thank the parents who reached out and talked about toileting over the weekend. It sort of exploded on the weekend, and there's been so much discussion about toileting. Um, and I found that often parents have the same questions, which is why I started to think about creating more than just a live stream for everyone. Um, because that's what this group is about too, the taking your lead. You ask your questions, what do you need, and I will respond to that. um, I also want to thank the one mom who reached out to say that she missed it all and really wanted to toilet train her son before he started kindergarten, and would I do it again? Yes, I will do it again. So that's why we're here tonight. I'm offering this again because I promised her I would do it in time for her to give it a go before school starts. So if you like what I have to say tonight, you like the vibe, you like the theory, then use the link. I'll pop it in the comments at the end and you can sign up for a toileting course. Now, I'm going to be super transparent here. I'm charging for this and I charged for the last one. Um, it's super exciting to me that you want things that go beyond the capacity of this group. And when you ask for them, I'm going to respond to it. So I really, really want to support people who are committed, keen, and want to participate and want my help. So I always say this, if you're new to the group, you're going to hear it tonight, but you're going to hear it over and over and over. You get to decide what your next best step is. And how are you going to know what your next step could be if you don't know what your options are? So I'm always going to tell you your options, but you get to decide what your next best step is. So for this toileting series, you're going to get a strategy, you're going to get resources, and I want to be totally clear that this session isn't for everyone, and I get that. If you don't want to pay for a toileting series, that's okay. I get it. You get to decide what your next best step is. And if getting support inside this group is where you're at right now, then I'm going to keep supporting you inside this group with the live streams and the PDF resources. So let's talk toileting tonight. So here we go. Toileting a child with autism is hard. It requires a different approach. Now, this toileting conversation started a few weeks ago when a mom from our group reached out to ask for help. Her son is 2, he's about to be 3, and she'd already tried a few times and nothing was working for her, which is the case with a lot of parents that I help with toileting. They've tried schedule, a timer, sitting on the toilet, waiting, rewards, punishments, and nothing was working. So why it isn't working is what I want to talk about tonight. If you have tried toileting and it's not working, I would love to know in the comments if you just type not working. I'd love to know where we're at with people who are listening. Have you tried yet and things aren't working, or have you not tried? Would this be a first attempt? So let's dig a little bit deeper into what's going on. Let's dig a little bit into the why. I have 3 questions for you that I want you to think about. First question is, how does your child communicate? Do they point? Do they pull? Do they use words? Do they show you things, pictures? Do they make sounds? What's happening when your child is trying to tell you what they want or need? And is it easy for you to understand, and also the people around you to understand, or is there a lot of guessing going on? You can tell me in the comments too. We can talk about it if there's comments going on there. I'm happy to chit chat. So the second question that I have for you is, how well does your child understand and follow instructions? Do they need lots of repetition and modeling, or do they do what you ask right away? And you can tell me in the comments there how they follow directions. The last question to help sort out the why is, what is your child's sensory needs? There's actually a lot to consider here because there's a lot going on in the bathroom, right? There could be some fear, there's noises, there's textures, there's smells. There's really a lot going on. I see that. Tishana, the modeling and repetition. It's really common that that's what children with autism need to follow instructions. So thanks for commenting. Just back to the sensory for a sec, because if these things sound familiar, you can let me know. But also, I want to talk about something else in terms of sensory, because we're all familiar with the five senses, right? The sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. But we have to consider a sense that's not really talked about that much. It's called interoception. Have you heard of that? Can your child tell you if they are hungry or thirsty, or if their tummy is sore or their head hurts? Do they pay attention and react to what their body is telling them? Now, this circles back to question one. Does your child tell you what they need or want? So if they feel hungry, do they tell you they want food? If they feel thirsty, do they tell you they want a drink? Or are you finding that you're having to coax them to eat or drink because you think that they are hungry or thirsty, but they're not telling you? So if you've got some issues or you're thinking about any of those questions, then there's a lot going on that's getting in the way of toileting. So let me explain. So first of all, there's communication. If your child isn't consistently telling you what they want or need, they won't be consistently telling you that they need to use the bathroom. Does that make sense? If this is the case, if this is where you're at, it's just where you're at, you'll need to work on communication. And then next there was following instructions. So if your child needs a lot of repetition and modeling to understand an instruction, then there's some preparation to do before you start toileting to help them understand what the instruction is, what toileting is all about. So if they can't or don't tell you that they have to go, and they don't yet understand the instruction, then you have a few hurdles to get over before you start. Are you with me? Because we just combined one and two, those two questions together. And now, then there's the sensory as well. So if your child reacts negatively to the 5 basic senses in the bathroom, then the bathroom has been paired negatively before you even start. And you'll need to undo that. There's a lot going on in there, like the smells, the texture of the feel of the toilet seat when you sit down, the feel of the toilet paper, the sound of flushing, water running, other people in there. Some bathrooms are even echoey. There's a lot going on in there. But in addition to that, those 5 basic senses, if your child isn't telling you that they are hungry or hurt or that they may not be feeling well, like they're not telling you what their organs in their body are telling them, like their bladder, they may not feel like they have to go pee. And just because they aren't telling you doesn't mean they're not ready. It means they need some support learning how to respond what their body is telling them. Does that make sense? Okay. Shadia, not really. My nonverbal girl leads with snacks, gets her own drink. But if you give her a decision, she looks at what she wants. She recently started taking her shorts off when she goes number 2, but I can't tell when she has to go beforehand. Oh, you're almost there. You're so close. You're almost there. And Melanie, you're here. I love that. My son just made a poop face and said, "Did you poop?" He was upset because he pooped in his pull-up. Wow. I left him like himself. Sorry, I'm just reading. It's a long one. I love it. I let him wipe himself, and then use another wipe. Okay. Wash your bum bum song. You're making progress. Melanie was in the group that was in the toileting session before, the one that I did before. And it sounds like like in just a couple days, you're getting it. This is amazing. Hi, Haley. I'm so happy you're here for your first live video, Haley. That's amazing. I love that, Melanie. Thanks for chiming in. So let's just go back because there's 3 things that you need to start to work on to help your child before you start toileting. If you're considering toilet training, then before you begin, get your child working on following instructions, communicating, and address those sensory needs. So the next question is how? How do you do this? The scope of how goes beyond what I can help you all with in a live stream. It's really hard to do that with the texting and support you in toileting on a live stream. So this toileting series that I have for parents who would like to help getting started. Melanie's done it already. You can even, I bet she would chat with you if you wanted to reach out to ask, but she had some really nice things to say about how it went. If the toileting series interests you, use the link. I'll put it in the comments just when I'm done talking. And you can use it to register and reserve yourself a spot. So you will get a customizable social story that you can add your own pictures to. You'll get a checklist so you can determine if you and your child are both ready. You'll get a 5-page reference guide that summarizes the entire approach. So I'll drop the link into the chat. Melanie says, yes, I will check out that because I haven't had, okay. That's awesome. I love it. One more thing. Just because your child balks at toileting doesn't mean they aren't ready. It means they don't like it. And none of us like change. But it's okay not to like something. It's not a reason not to do something. Does that make sense? I've talked to a lot of parents who tell me that their child isn't ready because they won't do it. There are a lot of children that are ready for toileting who don't want to change the way the things are. And so they balk. but it's okay not to like something. I can help you support your child through that. So if you want more help than I can give you on a live stream or inside this group, use the link to register. I'm going to drop that link in there right now so you can grab it and register. Here you go. I just want to go back and look at some of these questions. Haley, your son was just diagnosed. He's nonverbal, so you have a lot to work on. Yes, you do, and I'm happy to help you with that. I love that you checked this out as a refresher again, Melanie. Mary Lou, my son is nonverbal and was going to the bathroom here and there when he felt like it, but now he has no interest in going. How would I get him to start going back? You need to take my course, Mary Lou. You need to register for this. We can get him going and we can get it back, just like Melanie. She did the course the other day and her son was just pooping on the toilet. It's complicated, so there's some things to address up front, it sounds like, Mary Lou, and then I can help you with all of that. Shadia, so question, what are your thoughts on training panties and timer for the potty? I can get her to sit. So it's not so much about the training pants. Well, training pants I don't like because they feel like a diaper. And then the timer, I don't know enough about your daughter, Shadia, because I don't know what's happening with that interoception sense. So if you have a child who doesn't tell you if they're hungry, thirsty, tummy ache, if they can't feel that they have to go, if you sit them on the toilet, they will likely not go, or if they go, it'll be a coincidence. It won't be learning. Does that make sense? Shadia, do you understand what I mean? I can help you with that if that is the issue. See, it's so hard to, there's no back and forth on a live. It's really tricky. Just gonna back up to see if I've got everybody else. Karen has nonverbal 2-year-old twins. Okay, Karen, let's do this. You are busy. Okay. Oh, good, Shadia. Thanks for replying. I'm glad it makes sense. Okay, everyone. I'm going to sign off. But what I want you to really consider is if you like my vibe, you like my philosophy, and you'd like some support with this, then this could be your next right step. Okay? Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for coming, and I look forward to seeing you again. Oh, you're welcome. Good night, everyone.